Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts Liz and KT. And this week we are going to be talking all about our anticipated reads for the year. But first we're going to get into what we've been up to since the last time we talked to you guys. Liz, take it away because we did the same thing.
So this past week, me and Kennedy, we met up with some of our friends and it was much needed. We didn't do like anything crazy. We got there kind of late like because of the traffic. It was rush hour. But we drove up to see two of our friends and we went to go eat some dinner. Oh, we got a house tour because one of our friends moved into her house for the year, whatever. So we got to see the house tour. Then we went to get some dinner. We got some pizza. That pizza was fire. And then we went and we got some like a sweet treat. I feel like me personally, I'm not like a huge sweet treat person, but something about like hanging out with the group and everything, like you just need a sweet treat. Like it's a required thing. So we went to do that and we went to a park and we just kind of like sat around, took some pictures, just chilled and talked. And it was a really good time. And I've also been procrastinating. I'm going on a trip this Sunday. When y'all hear this, I will be on the trip because we're over here pre-recording, on our podcast girly things or whatever. But I've been procrastinating. Like I have to pack and everything. I literally leave tomorrow, and my room is a mess. Nothing is inside my suitcase. I don't know if you guys have ever seen May May on TikTok. She always does like pack with me for a trip, and I have to be at the airport in like 3 hours. That's literally gonna be me because I have to be at the airport at 4 a.m. So it'll be definitely be interesting.
That hangout was definitely very much needed. It was giving girlhood, and I loved it. So next, we're gonna get into our favorites of the week. So my first one is "Moved" by Nicole. And if you're someone who wants to get into Pilates, really check her out. I feel like out of all the ones on YouTube, she's like the most effective, and it's like so easy to do in your home, but it still gives you like a good workout. And I feel like you actually see results with her. So definitely love her. And then this is random but animal crackers. I discovered this or like rediscovered this snack like a couple weeks ago, and I've just been obsessed ever since then. And it's just so good. I'm like, wow, kid me was grubbing. And then next, I've been watching a lot of reading vlogs because I've been trying to get out of book slump. And I feel like watching reading vlogs really help motivate me to like want to sit down and read, especially if they're reading books that are like highly anticipated for me. So yeah, I just been loving watching reading vlogs.
Something about a good reading vlog, just like the vibes are immaculate and it makes me want to be them. And that's exactly what I need right now. So I will be doing that this week. So some of my favorites for this week is an Arnold Palmer. If you don't know what that is, it's sweet tea and lemonade together, and it is so good. I feel like it's such a good summer drink. It's just really refreshing and it's the best of both worlds. If you're like from the South, you know you need to have a good sweet tea. And then just that lemonade just adds a good little balance. It's so good. So if you haven't had one before, go get yourself one. You can even like order them at restaurants and just say, I want an Arnold Palmer, and they'll give you some. And then my other favorite has been watering my plants. I have like on my desk two succulent plants and then one that I don't know what it is. I just got it because I thought the vase was cute. But they're alive and they've been alive. I had them like all last year and they're still thriving. So hopefully they continue to thrive. And now we're going to move into some of the pop culture trends and trendy topics. So I know Kennedy's ready to talk about this. The Spain GP. What do you have to say, Kennedy?
So the week that this will be posted will be the same weekend of the Spain Grand Prix. I think it's hosted in Barcelona, and obviously I don't know like what's going to be happening. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this out in the universe that there'll be a McLaren 1-2 or podium. So then when it happens, I can be like, wow, I really predicted that. And then next we have Chase Crawford on Call Her Daddy. This might be a little outdated by the time this is up, but I feel like we still need to talk about it because I just love every time like he just like comes back into like everyone's mind and he gets the attention that he deserves.
Okay, I'm gonna add something really quick about the Spanish Grand Prix thing. I don't know if I want a whole McLaren 1 and 2 podium. I feel like we deserve a Carlos on there, a Carlos win because he's Spanish. Charles got his little home country win. So I feel like Carlos, it's only right that Carlos also gets that. But the way things are going, I don't know if it'll happen, but my hope is up there for Carlos.
Yeah, I would be okay, I would be down for a Carlos win and then both McLarens on podium. So, I agree with that.
We can compromise. Should I just go into the chase
Um,
thing then? Like where
yeah,
you left off? Okay. So, if
yeah.
you don't know who Chase Crawford is, you need to get yourself in the know because you must have just not been alive during the right time. But he is in Gossip Girl. He's one of the main leads. He plays Nate, and let's just say he gets done really dirty on Gossip Girl, and he deserves more recognition because I feel like he's a pretty good actor or whatever. I don't know. I be vibing with him. To be fair, I was a Nate stan in Gossip Girl, so I'm a little biased, but I don't know. I am excited to see this Call Her Daddy episode. I've seen like little clips and everything, and I'm excited to see what he got to say. I will say though, it would have been crazy if another cast member from Gossip Girl starred on it. Now that would have been crazy, crazy.
Yeah, I was a Nate girly too, and they did him so dirty with his relationships in Gossip Girl. Like, I feel like Mans was just always going through with his relationships. And I know, of course, everyone liked him with Serena. I liked him with Serena too, but I feel like the writers just always put issues in their relationship. I don't know. I was like, well, we waited so long for them to get together, and then there's just always issues, but it's fine. And then at first, when like Alex Cooper, if you don't know, that's the host of Call Her Daddy, when she first she like drops hints before Wednesdays, and I thought it was gonna be Penn Badgley, just because I like he's more in like the podcast sphere. Like I know he has his own podcast, blah blah blah, and I feel like he's just more like in everyone's eyes right now because of you and stuff. So I thought it was gonna be him. So when I saw it was Chase Crawford, I was like, oh, T, I will be sad. And then I'm just like, perfect. Now that he was on it, she can get Blake Lively and then possibly Taylor Swift because I feel like Taylor Swift and Call Her Daddy would be kind of iconic.
We sat for that episode too. That's all I have to say. So now we're getting into what are we watching? So Kennedy, what are you watching?
So I honestly haven't been watching much for real, but the first show I've been binging is The Circle. It's basically like this reality TV like game show where everyone is like behind a screen and it's kind of like a show where it's taking like the modern like technology profile thing and you're basically trying to figure out like who's a catfish and who's not, and I feel like it might sound a little boring, but it's actually really interesting because they get like all competitive and stuff. And there's really funny games and people be like getting shady and like they form alliances and it's really good. And like the most recent season, it was interesting because they had like an AI robot as one of the contestants. So like with the people trying to figure out who the AI is was really interesting. And yeah, it's just really good. So if you haven't watched it, I think you should. And then next, I started the fifth season of Love Island because everyone loves that one. I've seen the first season and like half of the second season, but I was just like, it's just so many episodes. They're like 50 episodes because they literally are getting recorded like every day for like a whole month or so. So it's a lot of episodes to catch up on. And I was just like, wasn't feeling it. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and skip to the fifth episode or the fifth season because that's one of the most iconic from what I hear. That's the Molly May and Tommy Fury season, if you are familiar with those names. And it's crazy because they are like engaged, have a kid at this point. So like seeing like them meeting for the first time and them just kind of hitting it off the bat is like really crazy. And I'm like, oh, this is so cute. And yeah, and then I heard the drama's supposed to get really good too. Already in the first couple episodes, I'm like 5 episodes in. The drama has just been too good. And I feel like Love Island is like the perfect summer show. And I think Love Island USA is on now, but I don't vibe with it as much as the UK. Like something about the accents just adds something to it.
Will say personally, I don't watch a whole lot of reality TV show, but I think it's really crazy how they come up with all the themes, especially like the circle one. Just that's like really unique in a way, but at the same time, it's like your same reality TV show. So I think it's really cool how they come up with like all those different show things. Yeah. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Anyways, what I've been watching, so nothing much, but I have been watching some travel vlogs. I've been catching up on my YouTube, and a lot of it is everybody traveling. I watched a Fiji vlog, I've watched some Hawaii vlogs, some Florida vlogs. If you know, you know. But yeah, something about just watching people on their little vacations, it's so comforting to me. But that's what I've been watching so far. And now we're gonna get into the song of the week. So I feel like my song of the week is very fitting if you were here for I don't it was the previous episode. I think it was the last episode and the episode before that. But my song of the week is Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. Let's just say every time I get in my car, that song has to be played. I don't know, that like the chorus part, that's what I'm gonna be playing. But I just love the chorus so much. So I'm gonna play a couple seconds for you guys. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted because you know it's really popular or whatever. Okay, it's this part. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you don't embarrass me, motherfucker. As you can see, that little part, it'll do it for me every single time I get in the car. So that's my song of the week.
Yeah, that part is gonna eat every time. So my song, we're jumping back to some house music real quick, and it is "She's Gone Dance On" by Disclosure. So my favorite part is like towards like the middle of the song. So I'm gonna play the part that I just love because it hits different. So yeah, I feel like that's just like good dancey vibe music. I'm just like when I listen to that song, I'm like in a club in Europe. And I just love being there in my mind instead of being in boring Kentucky.
No, because
But
Kennedy, you just put me on. I was very much vibing. And
see,
now
that's what I'm here for, putting people on.
exactly. We're doing something right. And now we're just gonna skip over, our little what we're reading, book updates, because if you know, you know, there is none. We're gonna move on to the topic of the episode, our most anticipated reads. And I feel like it's only fitting since we're both in book slumps. So maybe talking about these books will like help us get out of that book slump because we are crying in the club right now. But Kennedy, you can take it away with your first anticipated read.
The way these are basically just all like my summer TBR. But my first one is, well, I've talked about it before in past episodes, but I'm really gonna read it for real after I finish the book I'm reading now. But that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. You know, the trailer's out. I've heard only good things. If you don't know, it's a trilogy. At least I know the first book. I forgot the character's name already. I think it's like Pip Piper. I don't know, something like that. And from what I know, she has to like go back and look at the information from like a cold case or something for like a school project. And that sounds right up my alley, right? Exactly what I need right now. So
My first read is a popular one. It's Powerless. This book, if you like aren't in the book world, it blew up. Like literally blew up. This girl wrote this book when she was like in high school and now she's like a published author or whatever and everything and like a really popular book that everybody raves about. I don't really know a lot about the plot other than it's a romantasy, so it's a romance and fantasy, and there's like an enemies to lovers trope in it, I'm pretty sure. And I followed the girl on TikTok because I would always get the TikToks of her like, if you want to read like blah 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 blah. And then I like connected the dots that she's like the author of this book. And every single TikTok she posts about the book, it makes me want to read it even more. And also, another added plus, the cover is so pretty to me. It's like a simple black with like a dagger and like purple flowers, I believe. And yeah, I really need to get on it. I need to read it ASAP. And then book 2 is coming out, I think this month if it hasn't come out already, or it's coming out in July. So, and there's also like a novella that she came out with. So that's 3 books right there that I need to read, you know? So just like the Powerless universe, but specifically the first book, I really need to get on it.
that's crazy. I didn't realize that she started writing it in high school. I remember before it was published, I remember like vaguely seeing like TikToks about her book, but I never knew she wrote it in high school. That's crazy. 'cause I definitely wouldn't be able to write something that good in high school.
No, it would whatever my writing would be, like, Wattpad level, if even that.
Yeah, mine would be the bad Wattpad books. But, my next book, we're keeping on the same mystery thriller vibe, and it is The Last Word by Taylor Adams, and from what I remember, this book is basically about, this author stalks down this woman who left a bad review on his book on Goodreads. I feel like especially when I, like, found this book, I was like, "Yeah, I need to read this," because I remember there's, like, some situation in the book world where, like, authors were getting mad at kinda, like, their more negative reviews on Goodreads, which I'm just like, reading's subjective. You can't be mad that these people didn't like your book, like, not everyone's gonna like everything, and I'm just like, that's just such a crazy concept. I feel like a lot of thrillers and stuff, they kinda get, like, repetitive with, like, the plots and stuff, and I feel like this one's a little bit more unique, and I've seen good reviews about it, so I'm really excited for The Last Word.
No, because I've also seen a lot of things about that book, and I didn't realize that was what it was called, but I thought that the whole, like, author Goodreads, like, bad review idea is a really cool concept that, like, I've never seen in a book before, so I think that one would definitely be a unique book to read. Like, I feel like I would be very much on kept on my toes the entire time. But my next anticipated read, I feel like a lot of mine are actually everybody's anticipated reads, but anyways, we're just gonna ignore that. But the ACOTAR series, and if you kept up with my last book update, the last time that there was one, I did start it question mark. But so basically, for those of you who don't know, ACOTAR is one of like that is, like, in the fantasy world of books, that is, like, the book, like, the book series. Not just that one, but, like, the whole, like I call them sister trilogy not sister trilogies because there's more than 3. The sister series or whatever. So Sarah J. Maas, she's an author who does, like, fantasy books, and ACOTAR is, like, the first set of books in that universe, and then it's Stone of Glass and then Crescent City, but ACOTAR is the one that everybody, like, starts off with, and all I know is that there's fairies, but they're like it's spelled differently. It's like fairy. I don't know how you say that word. And then there is like a romance aspect to it, but that's all I really know. And there's like 5 books or 4 books question mark and the books are thick. They are they are hefty, but yeah, that's my next anticipated read. And I think that's actually what I'm going to download on my Kindle for my trip. So hopefully like sitting on that long flight, it will force me to get into it.
Yeah, you might as well just knock out a bunch of ACOTAR books while you're on that 15-hour flight.
I actually found out it's actually 18 hours, so even more time.
Praying for you. But my next read, another thriller. I don't know, I'm just in my thriller mood, and that is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I think it's like the same vibe as like, the woman in the window type books where she's far away, she sees something happen, but it's like kind of out of context. And so she kind of just makes up a whole scenario in her mind and we just see her spiral through the whole book. I remember I read the synopsis a while ago, but I think like she befriends the wife of like the house across the lake, and then I think she sees something happen and she's like, "Oh my god, is she dead or is she alive?" And yeah. So I can't wait to read about a woman spiraling.
That book, I love the cover of that book. I feel like if you've been listening a little bit, you kinda pick up on me. I very much judge books off the cover, and The House Across the Lake, if it's the book I'm thinking about, it's like a black background with, like it's either pink or blue, like, lettering on it, you know? So, I very much I love the cover of the book. Yeah, can you pull it up? Exactly what I was envisioning. I got the colors a little wrong, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. So my next anticipated read is everybody's anticipated read. It is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I am an Emily Henry stan. I love her books. I don't know, just something about her books. They're like so simple, but I feel like I just be connecting to the characters on a deeper level than I should be, and sometimes it be hitting a little bit too close, but we're just gonna ignore that. Funny Story, I genuinely have no idea what it's about actually. I know obviously it's like a romance book, like a contemporary romance book or whatever, and the guy on the cover, he wears Crocs, question mark. I don't know anything else about this book actually, genuinely, but I will definitely be reading it, and I will be purchasing the hardcover only because I have Happy Place in the hardcover, so I feel like it needs a little companion and it can't be alone on my bookshelf. But very much still upset that she switched to hardcovers releases instead of the paperbacks. But anyways, that's another conversation.
Emily Henry's Funny Story is definitely an anticipated read for me as well. But the next one on my list is the Happily Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. And basically, this is like the famous guy and like normal girl trope. I think he's like a rock star, and then I think he like loses his dog or something, and she finds his dog and like his contact number is like on the dog's collar or something. So it's something of that nature. But I just love Abby Jimenez writing. Her books are just so good. I've read Part of Your World and Yours Truly. Absolutely love them, especially Yours Truly. So I'm excited to jump back into her books and her writing. They're just so easy to get into, and her male characters are literally the best. Like, if you haven't read an Abby Jimenez book yet, you need to.
Following right after Kennedy, I also have an Abby Jimenez book on my anticipated reads, but it's her new release just for the summer. So this book, the cover is so cute. I love the cover. It's like a sunset in the background, like at a lake or whatever. But from my understanding, it's two people, and the girl, she's kind of like, I think they've both kind of like given up on the idea of like finding someone because I believe like both of their exes like they're like engaged and everything, and then like basically they think that they're cursed, and like everyone that they date after they break up with them, like that person ends up meeting like the love of their life or whatever. So they're kind of like they're giving up with the idea of love and everything, and then they kind of like connect, and then there's also like um things that are, like unpacked and everything from my understanding. And I just think it is the perfect read, a little bit relatable, but anyways. I just love Abby Jimenez writing like Kennedy said too. And then with Just for the Summer, just any other Abby Jimenez book, I really want to get into like I know her little Part of Your World series is like standalones, but they kind of connect in a way low key. Like the characters have appearances or something. And I've only read Yours Truly, so I also need to read the Happily Ever After playlist as well. But just Abby Jimenez in general.
The Just for the Summer cover is actually so cute. It's the best summer vibes ever. And then we're gonna jump right back to Emily Henry real quick because my next read is Happy Place. They like go to like a lake house and stuff. I low key have seen some spoilers from it because I swear people on Book Talk are the worst with spoiling books. They just spoil anything and just like no type of warning. So I just love that. Um, but yeah, it just seems like great vibes. I feel like it's also like a really good summer read as well. Like I know they go to a lake, it's a group of friends, and it just seems like good vibes. But I don't know about good vibes now that I think about it, because I just remember seeing a lot of people crying while reading it when it first came out. So that makes me a little scared. But I think I'm really gonna love the like friend group aspect of it. Like I remember seeing people describe it like Friends vibes, like the TV show. So I'm really excited. And the cover is literally so cute. And yeah. And I do have the paperback version, but like it's weird because it's like the large print. So the words is so big. I'm like, dang. I could read this without my glasses. Not really. But maybe if I tried I could.
Friends is the perfect way to describe that book. I've read that book and I'm just thinking back to it, and definitely like every character, like the friend group aspect was my favorite thing of that book. It really reminded me low key of our friend group. Um, and we are low key starting a tradition of going to a lake house just like them. So my next anticipated read is the Brothers Hawthorne spin-off series. I'm not sure if this book has come out yet, but I'm pretty sure it comes out pretty soon. But if you don't know, the Brothers Hawthornes follows the original like trilogy of the Inheritance games, and this one follows like it focuses more on the brothers of the book, and you still see like reoccurring characters from the Inheritance Game series. And I thought I ate that book up because if you know me, you know I love the Inheritance games. I love the brothers like Jameson, Grayson. I can't think of the other two's names, but I think one of them Xavier question mark. That kind of sounds, or Xander, something like that. But that's
Yeah, I think it's Xander and Nash.
Yes. Yep, there we go. That's why I got you here, Kennedy. But I loved the first book that I read of the Brothers Hawthorne. It was just really cool to see the characters like outside of the Inheritance games. Like obviously we're still gonna have those like mind games that they're doing and like solving puzzles and everything, but just kind of like focusing specifically on the brothers was a really cool aspect that I really enjoyed. So Kennedy, go ahead and add that to your list because I know you like the inheritance games.
Yeah, I need to get back on my grind with this series. I need to read The Brothers Hawthorne and then the second book that's gonna be coming because I am behind and I love the brothers, especially Grayson. He needs someone, and that could be me.
Me
But
personally, I'm a Jameson girly, but I do think Grayson needs someone.
yeah, see, I'm a Jameson girly for Avery, but like I like it's okay to love them both, like Catherine said from the Vampire Diaries. So like if Avery gets Jameson, Imma get Grayson, and you know what? That's perfectly
Not the
fine.
toxicity, but yeah.
Of course, that's what we preach over here. Um, but next mine is By a Thread by Lucy Score. Now, this is gonna be me, testing her writing out again because I read Things We Never Got Over by her, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but I've still have heard a lot of great things about By a Thread, especially by people who weren't that big of fans of like her other books and stuff. So, I'm having high hopes for this one. Two booktubers that I watched that are like kind of like harsher on ratings really rated these highly. So I'm having high hopes. And I think it's set in like New York City. And the female main character, I think she might work in fashion, question mark. I'm not sure, but the way it works is like the male main character ends up getting her like accidentally fired from her job. So I think he gets her a job with like his mom or something. And it's like an enemies to lovers, grumpy ex sunshine type vibe. So I think I'm really gonna like it. Hopefully I do. I'll definitely give y'all an update in like a couple episodes or something. Hopefully.
I definitely think if you don't like it, it might just be the author. But just because I don't know, I feel like her books are either hit or miss. But my next anticipated read. Now, I know that this book is really, really, really far away, but you just have to hear me out. Like, I know it's an anticipated read that's not gonna happen this year. It's gonna happen next year when the book comes out. But it is my most anticipated read. Like, out of all the books I've talked about, this is the book for me. And that is the third book of the Fourth Wing series. I need this book now. If I could break into the author's home and steal the book, I totally would. And I would go to prison happy because I have the book and I can read it in prison. Like, I need this book. Y'all don't understand. It's not a want. I genuinely need it. Um, the third book of Fourth Wing. Just a moment of silence. I believe that this series is going to be called, I believe it's called Imperium series, but I could be completely wrong, so don't trust what I'm saying. Like, I just need it in my life. I've said the word need a couple too many times in this sentence, but y'all don't understand. So basically, Fourth Wing is a romantasy but fantasy book. I would say, yeah, it's a romantasy, and it follows like these two main characters, and there's like dragons, and there's like a war going on, and there's like magic, and it's just a crazy book. And after the ending of book two, I just need this book. And these books are thick, and I've read all of them. I binged it. That's how good these books are, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But I need that book. And that's my last anticipated read.
The fact that Liz would go to prison over this book is actually crazy.
You just don't understand, Kennedy.
Yeah, when I get back into my fantasy era, I might have to catch up. But wow, I have so many books left. Okay, so my next one, we're basically just gonna combine a bunch of reads by Ali Hazelwood that I have not read yet. And we're gonna talk about Bride, Not in Love, and Love Theoretically. I actually have Love Theoretically on my shelf. Forgot what it's about, but I want to read it. The cover's cute, bright orange. Of course, I want to read it. And then next, Bride. I think that's like her first like I don't know if you classify it as like paranormal because it's like vampires, werewolves, like fantasy type book. And I've seen mixed reviews about it, but I'm just so intrigued because I know like Ali Hazelwood has like dabbled or not dabbled, but like she literally wrote fan fiction, like The Love Hypothesis and the other book were like both fan fictions before, I believe. So I just feel like, Ali Hazelwood when it comes to that type of stuff, like she would know how to write it.
No, because I agree with you, Kennedy. Something about her writing, like, is it the same story in different fonts? Yes, it is. But something about that, like, quick, easy, like, you know what you're getting into, you know it's gonna end good book. It just, I don't know. I love her writing. I will continue to buy her books, and those are also on my list. I don't even have them on my shelf. I need to get them. Like, I just need to complete the Ali Hazelwood fandom world collection. That's the word, collection. Yeah.
And then, yeah, like Liz said, they're just so easy. And yeah, people complain about like her more sciencey books being the same, but like, who cares? I'm gonna eat it up every time. I liked it the first time. I'm gonna like it the second time, and I'm definitely gonna like it the third time. Like, it's fine. And then the third one, it just came out like a couple days ago, I think, and it's called Not in Love. And I'm pretty sure like the main characters they like ended up hooking up, and then she like goes to a project or something at work, and then like he's there, something like that. I don't know, maybe getting confused with another book. All I know is it sounded good by the synopsis, and I will be sad whenever I get my hands on it. So yeah.
All you needed to know is it was written by her, and you just have to have it.
And then my next word, I'm gonna kind of like piggyback off of Liz's Akatar series that she mentioned earlier because I do want to read that, and like I am gonna read it before I mention the next books. But why I really want to read the Akatar series is so I can read the Crescent City series. I have the two books that are out so far, and they're like an urban fantasy, so it's like a fantasy but like in modern world, like they like be at the club and they be talking about phones and stuff. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I need. Like I just think urban fantasy is like my thing. But I've heard that you need to read Akatar first before Crescent City because I think like it's like something that connects that like is important, I think. So I need to read Akatar before that. But um Crescent City series will be my motivations to finish it. And like Crescent City, I don't know if y'all seen them books in person, but them things is real thick. Yeah, I think they're legit. Hold on, let me look cuz I'm literally sitting right by my bookshelf. I have the first book in my hands and I think this is like not even oh my god, y'all. It's almost 800 pages. You're joking. I thought it was like 500. Y'all, 799 pages. That's actually insane, but I'm gonna be sad. And I heard that the second one, House of Sky and Breath, is really good. And to quickly like talk about Akatar as well, real quick. I know Liz said yeah, those books are really thick, but I've heard those are also really good, obviously because they're hyped up. So I'm excited to get into those fantasy worlds as well. And then my last anticipated read, it's a duology as of now, but I think a third book is coming, question mark, and I think a TV show is going to be made as well. I don't really know, but it is the Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. I have the first two books, Legendborn and Bloodmarked, and I forgot the main character's name, but she's like a gifted child, like she's 16, I think 16, 17. She's gifted, and so she's going to UCLA, and she's like part of this program for like young gifted kids, and like she ends up seeing something like magical, like some type of like magical attack when she's not supposed to, and so like the secret society like finds her or something, and it's like this big thing. I think it's like one of those, trying to save the world, and I heard there's a romance in it, and I heard the romance is really good, so I'm excited. And of course, it's a black main character, so I'm gonna be sad. And the covers are mwah, chef's kiss, and I'm for sure hopefully gonna get to it. If not this month, hopefully next month because they've been sitting on my TBR card for so long, and I've just really have been wanting to get into that world. And those are all of my anticipated reads.
So, we have come to the end of our episode, and those are all of our anticipated reads. Praying to the book gods, please get us out of this slump so we can actually read these anticipated reads. Like, I've had enough of this slump. It's been the entire summer. Please. But thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure that you give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, that you like our podcasts on all of your streaming platforms, and then you follow us on our social medias. Anything you want to add, Kennedy?
Yes, I feel like everyone should definitely go follow our Instagram. It's always in the show notes below. I feel like the graphics kind of be popping off. I don't know. I may be biased.
No, I feel like Kennedy be doing her thing with the graphics. Can't even lie. They be looking good. So go show us
Yeah,
some love.
no, really. Be supportive. And then I feel you guys should definitely be here next week because it's going to be a good episode. And that's all I have to say.
Let's just say we have a lot to get off of our chests.
Yes. And with that being said, we'll see you next week on the Girls Lounge. Bye.
Bye.